Hi, this is Rachelle at Scrapcraftastic, and I'm coming in to share with you how to make your own laminated tabs. I have a cut file available in my Etsy shop. I have three different versions actually, which I'm going to show you. I have them all here. This is just a regular small tab. The sheet has some small tabs. It also has 9 blank tabs included. These are monthly tabs. Let me make sure I specify that. This is for monthly tabs. Then the large full-size tabs, I think these are approximately the size of the Happy Planner tabs. So these are in the Etsy shop, and I did 2 of those. And then these are the ones we're getting ready to do now. I'm going to show you how to do the laminate. These are the tiny tabs. Each size is available in the Etsy shop. And these are ready to go, ready to cut with a silhouette or a Cricut. I'm using a silhouette today. I find that even though Cricut is supposed to work with other special materials, I just have better luck when I use a silhouette. I think I've done this with the Cricut before. So what I did was print the file from Silhouette Studio. So it already has the guide marks on it, the registration marks. These marks help the machine line up with the page, what's on the page. If you use Silhouette or Cricut, you know about the registration marks. All right, and then I have a sheet of 3 mil laminate, a laminate pouch. So it's the two pieces where you would normally stick something in the center. We're not going to use it that way. Let me move these out of the way a little bit more. We're not using it that way. We're going to cut this pocket open. So since I have 2 sheets, this is going to let me laminate these 2 sheets. Now what I could do is just stick it in and laminate the whole thing and then take them apart, and then I'd explain all that if that's what we wanted to do, but we don't want to do that because we don't want the laminate to cross over the registration marks because it it may not cause an issue, but I rather err on the side of assuming that it will cause an issue so we don't put laminate over our registration marks. So I'm going to trim this down to within the space of those registration marks. Take a Sharpie and just mark it where I want to cut. I don't want to cut too close to the words because I want to make sure that the border area around the around the words is laminated also. I don't want my laminate to be a little too short. So just to show you what this is going to come out like, this one I've already done. These are a couple of blanks down here, but when I pull them up, you see that's what you get, and it's laminated. So it makes it a little more sturdy. And if you want them to be even more sturdy, instead of using a 3 mil laminate, use a 5 mil laminate. I don't need them to be that heavy for my purposes, so I'm going to stick with a 3 mil. Plus, I don't usually use 3 mil laminate for things, so this is going to let me get some use out of this lightweight laminate. All right, so now I'm just going to take my paper trimmer. And I have a full video on this already. If you want to check it out, I will link it in the description box below. But I figured I'd just do a little update, bring you along with me since I am doing this for my Stalogy and my half letter discbound. Let's just line these up, and I'm just cutting where I put my little marks at, disposing of the excess. So now, because we have cut the little connecting piece off, we have 2 separate sheets that are the same size. If I can get them apart. There we go. Okay. So set that one aside. And what we want to do is put the dull side down. That's the side with the sticky on it. So once it's heated, that sticks to the paper. This sheet, this sticker paper, is right off the printer, and I used a regular old inkjet printer and just printed this sheet like I print any other sticker that I'm going to cut with the silhouette. And I'm going to take this one again, dull side down. You want the shiny side up, and just line it up within the registration marks. I got my laminator ready to go. It's already warming up, so you will need a laminator for this. You could also use the self-adhesive sheets. I've never used them before, but they seem like they work the same way. So it might even be easier to use the self-laminate sheets. However you want to do it. All we're worried about is getting the laminate on top of the tabs. So now I'm just going to feed this through, and I'm holding the laminate in place. I'm going to show you once it creeps into frame. So when I was sliding that in, I was holding the laminate on the sticker paper just to make sure it didn't slide through and it stayed in place. I had a different laminator before when I did this, but I kind of tore it up. So I'm working with this one now. And this is just a regular old Scotch laminator. I know they used to sell them at Walmart. You could probably get it from Office Depot now. You may even find it on Amazon. If I do find it on Amazon, I will link to it in the description box below. So again, I'm holding this laminate sheet on here, holding it in place. Let's see if I can move this over a little bit more as I feed this through the laminator. There we go. It catches pretty quick with this one. I just moved it a little bit. Gotta be careful. Luckily, I think I have plenty of border around the text so that it should be fine. This is also a way to laminate just one side. We talked about that before too. If you want me to go more in depth about that, let me know in the comments and I can do a separate video talking about how that's done. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut her off. All right, I'm not used to this laminator, as you can see. I've only used it a few times. All right, here is my cruddy cutting mat, but I refuse to toss it until I can no longer get any use out of it. All right, so I'm just gonna line this up on my cutting mat to get it ready to go in the machine. My apologies for the crudiness of it. That's the adhesive and many times the paper getting stuck to it and me using it. All right, so now I'm going into Silhouette Studio. So this is the file that's open in Silhouette Studio. So I've already printed it. My registration marks and everything are there. Everything should be exactly like it was when I printed this. I'm going to click on Send. This is already set to cardstock plain. I'm not going to change any of this because this is kind of thick, I think. So I left it and it worked fine. You may have to make adjustments to your machine. The only thing that I did different from just cardstock plain cut manual blade is I increased the force to 30. Okay, so let's go up to 30. So I'm just going to load this in. I'm going to line it up and load it in. And I just tapped load cut mat to do that. Couldn't do it with one hand. So then I'm going to go back to my screen and hit send. All right, I'm just going to peel this off the mat and go ahead and put my second one on and get that ready to go through. All right, here is the second sheet, taking it off the mat. Put that back. And I didn't test it the first time, but I'm pretty sure it worked. See, peels right off with the sticky. It's ready to be used. On this sheet, I have 4 sets. On the tinies, you get 4 sets on one sheet. Light gray or medium type gray and black. And this is just a basic black. Now, what you can do if you want more color is after you print it, before you laminate it, take a highlighter and color in, or you can use a Tombow marker or something that's not really going to smear the ink. You might want to set the inkjet ink with a hair dryer or heating tool. Just set that ink. Don't heat it too much because it is still on an adhesive, and when you apply heat, it's going to affect that adhesive. Laminating it doesn't do too much to it, so you might be okay. And also, it will matter what kind of sticker paper you have if the sticker paper you're using can tolerate heat. So far, most of the sticker papers that I have purchased are work okay with heat, and I will also link to the sticker paper that I use in the description box below if you want to check that out. But yeah, these are the full size um, tabs, and then this is the small version. And again, they all just peel right off, and you can just add them to your planner, notebook, however you want to use them. I printed these for this and for my other planner because I'm a little bit tired of having to flip through everything to get to where I want to be. So I'm trying to decide where I want to put the tab. I think I'm going to put it on this page. And I'm also considering which set do I want to use. Do I want to use the little ones or the tiny ones or the smalls? I think I'm going to use the smalls. Let's see how they look. Um, and I don't try to figure out how many I can get on the page to line them up perfectly. I'm not going to stress over that. I'm just going to put them on as many as I can going down, and then I'll start again and go down. Or I could just do quarterly. Maybe I should be a little more mindful of how I put them down. These are 1¼ inches in width. This page is, this is why I don't get into all this. This page is 7 1/8. So that's 7.125. So 7.125 divided by 1.25. So I should be able to get 5 on here. I want to get 4. January, February, March. I'm not doing that. I take that back. That's too much. Let's just do it this way. I should be able to actually get 6, I think. I might be able to squeeze 6. So I'm just putting it on the edge, just like a regular tab. And then I'm going to fold it over and line it up as best as I can. Again, I'm not going for perfection. I am going for getting it on here and getting it done. All right. So there we go. There's January. Let's find February. And I didn't do a lot of opening pages. I'm going to do it like right on this page. I didn't do title pages a lot of the time so far this year. I probably should start doing them again, but we'll see. So I'm just going to use January as somewhat of a guide to line the next one up. My fingers too far on there. Let's put them close. I think that's good. I'm just going to press that down. Turn this around and line it up. Oh, let's do more. So this is pretty easy to do. If you have the tools, it's simple, pretty straightforward. Once you get the piece laminated, you should be good to go. And you could always do, if you didn't want to mess up, a full sheet of paper, you could always do a small test. Maybe like use some of the offcut pieces of the laminate and use some old sticker paper or whatever or something that's already messed up, and just test the kiss cutting feature to make sure you're cutting through the laminate and the sticker paper so you don't run into issues with that. You choose to. And if you have any questions about how I did this, just let me know in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as possible with answers if I have them. Yeah. I didn't really think about it this time. Maybe the next set that I do, I will do color, add color to them just so you can see how that's done. Um, yeah, you could, I think the 5 millimeter would work good as well. I think I've used 5 mil before, but I felt like today I just want to go ahead and start getting some of this 3 mil laminate used because I rarely use it, as I mentioned. Let's do April. So that works out pretty nice. I mean, yeah, it sticks out, but it's so nice to just be able to flip to the correct amount. Usually I do this as I go through the year. Like each month I'll add the new tab, but this year I've been extremely lax with my planning. If you've been around, you know. So I'm just now getting around to it because I couldn't take the flipping anymore. But if you've tried this in the past, let me know in the comments. And if you plan on trying it, let me know in the comments. It's really a nice little thing, especially if you're using notebooks for planning. It really works great. See, I could have came down a little bit on January, but it's fine. All right, let's find June. I think it works out pretty well. I could have spaced them out a hair more, but maybe I'll remember that for next time. And it's also good to put these on before you start putting down your stickers so you don't cover up important stickers. That's not that important, but just for future reference. And then July, which we just recently completed that one. And then what I'll do is cut the rest of these out because July I'm going to start over up at the top. So yeah, I could get about 6 of them there because I was measuring the actual width of the bottom of the tab instead of where the actual tab falls. So that's a little more narrow. Do my math off a little bit. Okay, there we go. Ta-da, ta-da. Not bad for eyeballing it. Okay, so then what I'll do with these is cut them apart. Try not to cut the actual tab that you need. I have 6 tabs here that I can use for something. I could use my little label maker to label them. So I'm just going to cut this excess off and keep these in here. Then this is the rest of my year. I want to save those. Careful not to cut anything that I need. You hold it just right, you can see. And then I got 6 more actually. 6 more blank tabs here that I don't want to waste. So I'm going to trim those down to for future use. Did I mess that one up? No, it's close though. Okay, so I'm gonna take my blank tabs, and I don't know, I need to find somewhere to store tabs, really. I'm not gonna measure, and I think I'm gonna write tabs on the back so that I can recognize what it is. Sure, that's good and dry. Yeah, so I don't have to guess at what it is. Okay, so this is what I got left for the rest of the year. And I probably should put one of those pockets in here. But I'm not. I'm gonna try and put this in the front. Hopefully y'all remember that it's here. And y'all help me remember that it's here so that I can use those for the rest of the year. Okay, so there we go. All done. Easy peasy. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, also let me know if you're gonna give it a try. I hope you enjoyed this quick little DIY sturdy laminate tab tutorial. Again, I'll link to the original video in the description box below. Go check that out too. Thanks for coming along and hanging out with me. Let's give it a little bit of glare. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And you may be interested in this other video. If you made it this far, please leave a planner emoji in the comments below. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.